ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रीमेधादक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। Namaste once again.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste. Namaste. Ishta-nishtartha sampraptau samadarshitayatmani ubhayatra vikaritvam jivan muktasya lakshanam. So in these verses, we are studying the Jivan Muktasya Lakshanani, the characteristics of a Jivan Mukta or a Jnani. And it is useful to us because it helps us to understand that a Jnani is not some, strange animal. Oh, he has got Jnanam means he will now start walking in the air or in water, etc. What is a Jnani? A Jnani is a samsari who has got rid of the samsaritva. He has made certain changes, certain resolutions mentally, and he lives the life as advised or as taught by the scriptures through his guru. That's all. I mean, that is the only difference. Otherwise, he is as much a human being as each one of us are. And as we were seeing in the last class, a Jivan Mukta also has to go through Prarabdha Karma. Because of Atma Jnanam, while he can escape the results of Sanchita Karma and Agami Karma, and because of which he can avoid rebirth, Atma Jnanam does not exempt him from living through his Prarabdha Karma in this life. And as we discussed, life is a constant battle between my fate or prarabdham and my free will. It's so coincidentally the same topic we are learning in Bhagavad Gita also. Good, because it will reinforce the knowledge, the learning rather. This match, this battle between free will and prarabdham is a very unfair and unbalanced match. Because my free will has to fight this boxing match with hands tied behind. Because the prarabdha boxer can see me, but I cannot see the prarabdha. Therefore, that boxer gives me punches left and right. I don't know where I will get the next punch. So this lack of knowledge results in emotional turbulence. and which upsets the balance in my life. But as long as I am able to keep the emotions under my control, as long as I am able to direct my emotions, I will be able to encounter my fate and dilute it, if not eliminate its adverse effects. And that is exactly how a jnani handles his prarabdha. The Acharya says, Ishta nishtartha samprapthau samadarshitayatmani. A Jivan Mukta has the vision of samatva, a vision of equanimity, because of which he does not fall a prey to elation when desirable objects are gained, nor does he go into a depression when the desirable objects are not gained or undesirable objects are gained. Since his mind is anchored in Samam Brahma, and which is ever stable, he is able to keep his emotions under control. And that is why, in the 5th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna describes a jnani. Na praharishyet priyam prapya, no dujet prapya chapriyam. Stira buddhira sammudaha brahmavid brahmani sthitaha. Na praharishyet priyam prapya. When good experiences come, the jnani is not overexcited. He is aware that these good experiences are also not going to last for a long time. This is a temporary phase. Let me just enjoy it. That's it. Not have any expectations from that. Similarly, na udvijet prapya cha apriyam. When terrible experiences come, then also he may be affected. But he is aware that this will also pass. Even the worst disease must pass. Or at worst, what will happen? The body will die. So nothing is permanent. Good is also not permanent. The negatives are also not permanent. And therefore, Krishna says, don't be downcast, don't be totally lost. It's quite interesting because Adi Shankara in Vivekachudamani, as we seen earlier, he had actually borrowed a lot of ideas from Chandogya Upanishad. Isn't it? A Taittiriya Upanishad. Now he is borrowing a lot of ideas from Bhagavad Gita. Of course, he is paraphrasing those ideas into his own words. But to understand these slokas, if we go through Bhagavad Gita, it becomes very easy and also mutually reinforcing. Like in the 2nd chapter, he describes this firm understanding of a jnani. Jatasya hi dhruvor mrityuh dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Tasmat apariharyerthe natvam shochitum arhasi. Jatasya hi dhruvor mrityuh. Whatever is born has to die. That is 100% it will happen. People will be born in the family. People will die in the family. Both will be there. Remaining steadfast in Atma. Arjuna understand both Ishtam and Anishtam, Janma and Maranam, as natural features of the world. Nobody, including Bhagavan, can change the nature of the world. We must understand that very carefully. Understand that very well. Nobody can change the world. So what we can do? Tasmat apariharyerthe na tvam shochitum arhasi. Therefore, there is no point in lamenting about the ways of the world. Krishna says, Arjuna, even I cannot change the world. War will come. Arjuna, you are going to lose your dear son Abhimanyu. Of course, he doesn't say all these things in the Bhagavad Gita, but this is what he is implying. Certain things you cannot change. All these are all what? Apariharyam. So, what cannot be changed, for which there is no pariharyam, what is the point in complaining over that fact? Complaining over a fact which cannot be changed is foolishness. And as the saying goes, what cannot be cured has to be endured. There is no cure for aging of the body. People will be born, age, and eventually die. There is no point in lamenting over this fact. So, apariharyerthe natvam shochitum arhasi. Or he again said, Gatasun agatasunshcha nanu shochanti pandita. 11th shloka, 2nd chapter. And this is not only for the loss of people, it is also for loss of things, loss of faculty, etc. A mind is a wise mind which is ready to lose the losable. Quote unquote Swami Paramathananda. A mind which is not prepared to lose the losable is a loose mind, he says. LOOSC. Therefore, a jnani enjoys emotional balance even in the worst situation. Yasmin stitah na dukkena gurunapi vichalyate. Therefore, he says, Atmani ubhayatra avikaritvam. Avikaritvam, vikaraha means emotional reactions. Avikaritvam means absence of emotional reactions. There will be reaction, no doubt, but devoid of violent emotions. The FIR would reduce significantly. I hope you all remember what is FIR. Frequency of emotional disturbances, F. Intensity of the emotional disturbances, I. And recovery period, R. One needs to focus on this, on the path, spiritual path, FIR reduction. So avoid all violent emotions. Ubhayatra, both. Both means what? Ishta anishta artha sampraptav. In both situations, gaining what you want to gain and not gaining what you want to gain, or gaining what you don't want to gain. Ishta prapti. When favorable situations come, don't get carried away. Anishta prapti. When unfavorable situations come, don't get carried away. If the mind enjoys this samatvam, it is jivan muktasya lakshanam. Bhagavad Gita, all this is described as what? Stita prajnasya lakshanam, stira prajnasya lakshanam, parabhaktasya lakshanam, gunatitasya lakshanam. All mean what? Jivan muktasya lakshanam. Continuing further, साधुभिः पूज्यमानेऽस्मिन् पीड्यमानेऽपि दुर्जनैः समभावो भवेद्यस्य स जीवन्मुक्त इष्यते. The Anvaya is Sadhubihi asmin pujyamane durjanaihi pīdyamane api yasya samabhavah bhavet sah jivan muktah ishyate. Another perspective he adds, Sadhubihi, by people given to good actions, asmin pujyamane, when he is worshipped, durjanaihi, by people given to bad actions, pīdyamane api, even when he is afflicted, yasya, for whom, samabhavaha, equanimity, bhavet, would be, saha, he, jivan muktaha, as jivan mukta ishyate, is called. So whether worshipped by people who are good or afflicted by people who are not good, who trouble him, who curse him, one who has a vision of equanimity is a jivan mukta. So sadhubihi pujyamane asmin. Asmin here refers to the shariram. Pujyamane. A jnani will be highly respected by sadhu. Sadhu means noble people who appreciate a jnani, who admire a jnani, who value a jnani. And if there are spiritual seekers, they become devotees of the jnani, they worship a jnani. Acharya Upasanam, one of the niyamas. Thus, by noble people, the body of a jnani is pujyamana, worshipped. They will do pada puja, shodasha puja, etc. And at that time, the jnani should not think or does not think, oh, I am a great person. All these people are worshipping me. He doesn't get excited like that. And pīdyamane api durjanaihi. And there are others. Especially we see such people in Tamil Nadu. They are durjanaihi. People who are out to harm Hindus. Especially religious people like priests, etc. It's a big problem. They're all politically motivated. They abuse the priests, cut their sacred thread, and so on. So many things are happening. And the police and state government just stand alert and watching. And now they have started talking of eradicating Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism, totally rather. So, Pīdyamane api, even when the Jivan Mukta Jnani is directly harmed or indirectly criticized behind also. Because just as we have got Raga Dvesha, and we have got people in our Raga list and Dvesha list, we should understand that we also fall within the Raga list of some people and the Dvesha list of some people. There can be nobody who is uniformly liked by everybody or uniformly disliked by everybody. Even in our own family, you will find some people may like us and some may dislike us. Same holds true for our neighborhood, office, etc. We should know this as a fact and accept it. In fact, we have got people who will act like friend. They will come and tell what another person is talking about us in the society. This is called backbiting. And often we will find these backbiters are people who talk to us with a smiling face. They are so friendly and nice with us. We can't believe that they will all go and talk all kinds of things behind our back. And when we come to know, we get deeply disturbed. Krishna says, this is also a law of life. Even Krishna himself was disliked by so many people. Rama was disliked. Even today, Rama and Krishna are disliked. So this is in fact, we must understand no one who is uniformly liked or disliked. And a Jnani knows that this is the law of the world. As I said, many people are there who enjoy talking about others behind their back. Therefore, one Acharya nicely wrote, if there are people talking ill of me behind my back by criticizing and dishonoring me, and if they are getting some joy out of it, I consider myself blessed. I don't feel bad. I thank God. Why so? He says, so many people are spending so much of resources, so much money, wealth, etc., to serve and bring joy to the people. I don't have that much money and all that, so therefore I cannot do all those things which people with resources do. But I am serving these people and giving them joy by my mere existence, by letting them insult me, criticize me. By their criticism or insult, I am not affected, but it gives them joy. So I consider myself to be blessed. See the attitude of a Jnani. Therefore, Pidyamane api durjanaihi. Even if the Jnani is hurt by durjanaihi, dushtajanaha, evil people, yasya samabhavaha bhavet. The one who has got equanimity, samabhavaha, samatvam. Previous sloka we talked about samadarshanam. Samadarshanam, his outlook towards the world outside. Now we are talking about his samabhavaha, equanimity of the mind, his inner composure. His feelings are balanced. Overwhelming excitement is not there even when he is worshipped through a puja, nor he has overwhelming depression when he is subject to hatred. Equanimity of mind he has. And because of which he is able to avoid reaction. Therefore, agitation born reactions he avoids. But we must carefully note one thing. It's an aside note, you can take it. He only avoids agitation based impulsive reactions. But according to the situation, whatever action has to be taken Whatever response he has to do, he will do. Somebody is hurting me constantly, because of which I am not able to move forward in life. Then I have to do something about it. And the Jnani will do something about it. He will take an appropriate response. So, samabhava does not mean inaction or silent suffering. Samabhava, we must understand, means absence of reaction, rancor, etc. It is not absence of action. If appropriate action is required, that action will be taken by the Jnani. Even in the context of Mahabharata Yuddham, he tells Arjuna, maintain your equanimity, but do Dharma Yuddham. These are adharmic people, they have to be punished, and you punish them. But not with some, feeling of hatred or anything. Tasmat yujyasva bharata, he says. So sometimes we may have to fight, we may have to take legal action, we may have to talk, or worst case, we just quit that place. Sometimes you may not do anything. And that is also a well thought out, deliberate response coming from a calm mind. And therefore, samabhava does not mean that Jnani, accept the situation and say, I can't do anything about it because I'm a Jnani. A Jnani responds calmly but avoids impulsive action. And therefore, yasya samabhavaha bhaved, the one who has got that mental samatvam or balance, saha jivan mukta ishyate. He is considered a jivan mukta. See, when we hear all these emotional characteristics of a jnani, naturally we will love to have such a mindset, isn't it? A mind which is unagitated, which is able to move on in spite of all the problems. Most beautiful mind. Bhavabhuti in Uttara Ramacharitam beautifully describes this mind. Vajradapi kathorena mriduni kusumadapi lokottaranam chetamsi kono vigyatum arhati. When he has to face painful situations, his mind is hardened as diamond, capable of withstanding the pain. Vajradapi kathorani, harder than diamond, like a rock. But when he sees the pain of others, the same heart melts. It becomes like a soft flower, mriduni kusumadapi. In handling others, he can never imagine giving pain because he has got a soft mind. Like Krishna says, Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha. He cannot withstand the pain of others. But he himself can withstand any amount of pain. Mruduni kusumadapi, softer than a flower. Lokottaranam chetamsi is the mind of a lokottara, a jnani. Kono vijnatum arhati. It's a rhetorical question. We must understand That is the mindset of a jnani. Literally, it means who can understand the mindset of a jnani? That means the only way to know the mindset of a jnani is to become one. Till such time, we will not be able to understand the mindset of a jnani. Therefore, sahajivan muktaha ishyate. See, when we talk about samatvam and equanimity of this jivan mukta jnani, we think that we can get this only through jnana. This is a very important point which I had briefly touched upon earlier. But now I feel that we have talked so much about jnani's characteristics, samatvam, etc. Some more points need to be clarified. So, when we are saying jivan muktasya lakshanam, and then we are describing all these aspects of his mind, his attitude, etc., we will obviously come to the conclusion that gaining this, as I just now said, one has to become a jnani to know what his mindset is. That is not a fully true statement. Because if we think that all these characteristics we can gain only through jnanam, then we will be what I can say, we will be disappointed, because jnanam, shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam, it all looks very far away, very difficult to reach. I have to study Vivekachudamani or Tattvabodha and all, then do shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. After all this only I can get samatvam. All this very time consuming process. I don't know. I don't have so much time. It's all very tough. I don't know whether I will be able to get this samatvam in this life. This is what many of us will be thinking. But we must remember that that is not necessary, that you should get samatvam only after you gain jnana. The same equanimity we can get even before we get jnanam and jnana nishtha. And this is what I had actually touched upon. If you remember, katham vimoksha, when we discussed that, katham vimoksha, there I talked about two stages of spiritual sadhana, karma yoga and jnana yoga. And there I mentioned that karma yoga will not only prepare a person for jnana yoga, but karma yoga itself, along with Dvaita Bhakti, can considerably reduce emotional samsara. We talked about two types of samsaras, emotional samsara and intellectual samsara. Intellectual samsara will go away only with jnanam, but emotional samsara, even if it doesn't fully go away, can be considerably reduced by karma yoga. But not by just karma yoga, along with Dvaita Bhakti. It can reduce emotional samsara, emotional problems considerably. Since I did not go into the details, I would like to dwell a little bit upon that. In fact, it is also not necessary to say karma yoga along with Dvaita Bhakti, because Dvaita Bhakti, there is no karma yoga without Dvaita Bhakti. Karma yoga includes Dvaita Bhakti. And Dvaita Bhakti means a devotion or a worship of the Lord in which we are maintaining the Dvaitam, the main difference between Bhagavan and Bhakta, the deity and the devotee. So that duality is maintained. Such a bhakti is called Dvaita Bhakti. And here, in this context, when we talk of Dvaita Bhakti, we should ask the question, what type of Dvaita Bhakti goes along with Karma Yoga? It's a very important question. Because when we, in Bhagavad Gita, in the 7th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna talks about 4 types of bhakti. Arto Jignasurartarthi Jnani cha Bharatarshabha. He said there are 4 types of bhaktas. Artha Bhakta, Artharthi Bhakta, Jignasu Bhakta, and Jnani Bhakta. Of course, the Jnani Bhakta is not relevant for Karma Yoga or a Karma Yogi, where he already crossed all that. He has become Jnani. As a Karma Yogi, he is not at a Jnani. So, Jnani Bhakta is not relevant for a Karma Yogi. Jnani Bhakta or Jnani Bhakti is Advaita Bhakti, not Dvaita Bhakti. And what is Advaita Bhakti? Advaita Bhakti is a form of Dvaita Bhakti in which the Bhakta remembers and retains the Advaita Jnanam. So, Advaita Jnana Sahitam Dvaita Bhakti. So, Advaita Bhakti is equal to Advaita Jnana Sahita Dvaita Bhakti. The Bhakta has got Advaita Jnanam. He is asamsari. He worships the Lord not as samsari. But then you may ask, he has already become a Jnani, Advaitam. He knows there is no difference between him and Ishvara. So, what is the purpose of his worship or namaskara? In Advaita Bhakti, the bhakti is expressed to the Lord only for one purpose, and that is gratitude. Ajivitam Trayam Sevyam Vedanto Guru Ishvara hai. Adau Jnana Praptaye Paschat Kritanyatva Nivrittaye. See, we keep talking about Bhagavan's grace, Lord's grace. That is why we come to Vedanta. All obstacles are removed. We progress in the spiritual life. We eventually, quote within quote, attain moksha. So we say everything is happening due to God's grace. Should we not ever ajiva throughout our life keep expressing our gratitude to that Lord? So a jnani is grateful to God for giving the scriptures, the Guru, and the opportunity to attain Advaita Jnanam and liberation. As a happy, liberated person, without demanding anything from the Lord, he offers namaskara in gratitude. That is Jnani's bhakti. It is Advaita bhakti. So that Jnani, we will deal all with this in detail when we come to Bhagavad Gita students. We will deal in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter. But here I thought that for those who are not in the Bhagavad Gita class, it will be a right opportunity to talk about this. especially is samatvam necessarily come, will samatvam necessarily come only after jnanam or not? So I wanted to clarify that. But this jnani bhakti, as I said, is not relevant in the context of karma yoga. So for a karma yogi, what is relevant? The other three bhaktis: artha bhakti, artharthi bhakti, and jignasu bhakti. They are all clean dvaita bhaktis. Of course, artha and artharthi bhaktis are called sakama bhakti, in which a bhakta demands many things from the Lord. The very namaskara brings out various demands. And all these demands are dictated by powerful raga dvesha, likes and dislikes which dominate the mind. So, dominated by raga dvesha, pressurized by raga dvesha, he offers namaskara to Bhagavan. And as even he does that, his raga dvesha instigated demands are there. Therefore, a sakama bhakta is under the spell of raga dvesha, indicated by the demands he makes to the Lord. And when he does the sankalpa during worship, he also asks for all this, isn't it? Putra pautra, bahuputra labham, shatasamvatsaram, dhirgamayuhu, all that he asks, all material ragadvesha driven demands. And in the Gita, Bhagavan, Lord Krishna says, if a person is a spiritual seeker and he starts as a karma yogi, then he should note that sakama bhakti, dvaita sakama bhakti is incompatible with karma yoga, because in sakama bhakti one is under the spell of raga dvesha. In fact, he gives a very stern warning also. He says, never be dominated by raga dvesha, especially during bhakti. Indriyasyendriyasyarte raga dveshau vyavastitau tayorna vashamagachet tau hyasya paripantinau. He says, tayorna vasham agachet. Never allow raga dvesha to dominate you. Because dominating raga dvesha is an obstacle to spiritual growth. Tau hi asya paripantinau. Tau, these two, raga and dvesha, they will perpetuate samsara, especially emotional samsara. So as long as raga dvesha dominates, worries will continue, fears will continue. And therefore, raga dvesha driven sakama bhakti, which is demanding bhakti, give me this, give me that, is an obstacle to spiritual growth. It will perpetuate emotional problems. And therefore, a karma yogi should avoid artha bhakti. He should also avoid artharthi bhakti. So what he should do, he should take to the third one called jignasu bhakti, which is a spiritual seeker's bhakti, which is a nishkama bhakti. The nishkama bhakta remembers Bhagavan's warning. So when he practices bhakti, he will not allow raga dvesha to dominate and create demands. When he does namaskara, raga dvesha will pressurize him, will provoke him. Demand this, demand that. There will be pressure. But as a spiritual seeker, remembering Bhagavan's warning, he would resist the pressure. He will say, I will not demand. I will clearly express to the Lord, I don't want anything from you. I want to follow your teaching. I want to grow spiritually. Therefore, I will keep my raga dvesha aside. I don't want to demand. I have come here to give you, to do namaskaram to you and give you a promise. I will follow your teaching. Yad bhavyam tad bhavatu bhagavan purva karmanurupam. He will repeat this deliberately. Initially, it may be lip service, but he will accept whatever has to happen according to the law of karma, let it happen. My responsibility is not demanding, but doing whatever I have to do. Who knows better than you, Bhagavan, about the karmas of mine? Whatever you choose to give, I will accept. I will keep on doing my duty. I have a lot of responsibilities to discharge. I will be active. I will not take to inaction. I will be active and in the discharge of my responsibilities. I know I am a karta and you are a karma phala data. As a karma phala data, it is your prerogative to give me karma phalam. It may be sukham, it may be dukkham, it may be jaya, it may be ajaya, it may be labha, it may be alabha. I will remember your instructions, O Lord. Sukha dukke same kritva, labha labhau jaya jaya. I am ready to welcome both sets, sukha dukkha, labha alabha, jaya ajaya, all as your prasada. No resistance, no demands from you to change the law. In this janma, I have done so much good deeds. Oh Lord, please change my previous karmas. No, I will never demand all such things. And hey Bhagavan, you need not conform to my raga dvesha. Even if you know what my raga dvesha, you can ignore them. May you conform to the law of karma. For me, whatever you give is prasada. Whatever comes, I will welcome without being judgmental. Because judgment also comes from raga dvesha. I will not allow raga dvesha to judge my experiences. I will accept your teaching and not judge. From the standpoint of your teaching, everything is prasada, so everything is welcome by me. Thus, if I practice jignasu bhakti, nishkama bhakti, and clearly tell the Lord, I have no demand. Whatever experiences you give, I will gladly accept them. If I keep on saying this, the pressure of raga dvesha, I will be able to resist and actually bring down the pressure and come out of their spell. The teaching and my free will are becoming stronger than raga dvesha. In sakama bhakti, my will succumbs to raga dvesha. In nishkama bhakti, my will overpowers raga dvesha. And this overpowering of raga, dvesha, pressurized demands is what is called vairagyam. Must understand. How do we develop vairagyam? Many students ask. Very simple. Nishkama bhakti. Nishkama dvaita bhakti promotes vairagyam. Mind you. And that is why vairagyam is one of the important components of sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. That is what makes you eligible for jnana yoga. Excuse me. Sorry. So Nishkama Bhakti promotes Vairagyam. And as even Vairagyam becomes stronger and stronger, as even Ragadvesha becomes weaker and weaker and weaker, every day I start with the prayer, Yad Bhavyam Tad Bhavatu Bhagavan Purva Karmanu Rupam. Every experience is the result of my present or past karma or karma of my previous births. So, in short, Nishkama Bhakti promotes Vairagyam, Sakama Bhakti promotes Ragadvesha. When Ragadvesha dominates, emotional problems overwhelm. When Vairagyam dominates, there is emotional freedom. No more emotional turbulence. I am calm. As Krishna says, Ragadvesha Vimuktaisto Vishayan Indriyaicharan Atmavashyairvidheyatma Prasadhamadhigacchati. In fact, in Nishkama Bhakti, the Bhakta, the Karma Yogi, attains twofold prasada. The word prasada has got two meanings. The most popular meaning, of course, is any gift coming from the God is prasada. Whether it is eatable or whether it is success, whether it is children. Because in our culture, it is very, very common, saying. In Hindi, they say, बच्चे तो भगवान के प्रसाद है. Children are gift from the God. So whatever is a gift from the God, of course, we should realize everything is a gift from the God only. That gift is called prasada. So a karma yogi, a nishkama bhakta, these external prasada he keeps getting. The second meaning of prasada, which is the dictionary meaning, is mental tranquility, serenity. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Thus, karma yoga and dvaita bhakti can go hand in hand, provided that karma dvaita bhakti is nishkama dvaita bhakti. Vairagya janaka nishkama dvaita bhakti, which will reduce emotional samsara considerably. I can maintain samatvam even without advaita jnanam. I may not have studied Vedanta. I don't know what is Mahavakyam. I don't know what is Jagati Lakshana, Ajagati Lakshana, etc. Nothing is required. Even without Advaita Jnanam, we can get out of all our emotional problems merely practicing Karma Yoga and Nishkama Dvaita Bhakti. But the condition is I should follow Lord Krishna's instructions, which is Nishkama Dvaita Bhakti. Therefore, only before starting of the topic of Karma Yoga in the second chapter, Lord Krishna strongly criticizes Sakama Bhakti and Sakama Bhakta. Of course, this criticism is not per se criticism. His criticism is to highlight the benefit of Nishkama Bhakti. So he says, Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham Pravadantya Vipaschitaha. He says, a Sakama Bhakta, a demanding Bhakta, will never be spiritually successful. Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate. They won't gain Atma Jnanam, they won't gain Jnana Nishtha, they won't get peace of mind. Krishna says in the 5th chapter, Yukta karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim ayukta kama karena phale sakto nibhadyate. Bhagavad Gita students should connect all these slokas and messages. We must never study Shastra in isolation. Okay, I am studying Kathopanishad. Whatever Kathopanishad says, I must be able to relate. Oh, the same thing was said in Bhagavad Gita, it was said in Vivekachudamani, it is said in other granthas. When you come to Brahma Sutra, you will find again the same thing. Connect all of them. Because when you see from various sources the same message being repeated, you get convinced about it. So yukta karma phalam tyaktva shanti mapnoti naishtikim. Karma yogi gets shanti. Whereas ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibhadyate. The artha and artharthi bhakta will never have peace. So the final message is Ragadvesha promotes emotional samsara and Vairagyam promotes emotional liberation. Therefore, whenever we talk about emotional liberation of a jnani, we must remember it is not jnanam that contributes to his emotional liberation. It is his vairagyam, which he has got even before knowledge. Before he came to Jnana Yoga, he had vairagyam. That gives him the emotional liberation. And the same vairagyam alone gets reinforced by jnanam also. Thus, vairagyam acquired before jnanam, vairagyam reinforced after jnanam are responsible for the emotional liberation of a jivan mukta. Jnanam is directly responsible for intellectual liberation because he no more has self-ignorance or self-misconception. Jnanam gives him that freedom. However, for a jnani's emotional tranquility, the credit should go to Vairagyam. Credit should go to Karma Yoga. The credit should go to Nishkama Dvaita Bhakti. Therefore, if I have studied Vedanta and yet continue to have emotional problems, which 99% of us will have, I should know what is the diagnosis, where to look for the problem, where to look for the solution. There is no point in asking, how come I have the knowledge, I have gone to Shravanam, I know what is all these Jagati Lakshana, Bhagatyaga Lakshana, etc. I can even teach others brilliantly, yet I have so many fears and worries. I have got so many emotional issues. How come? It only indicates I have got only intellectual knowledge. Knowledge, of course, will be intellectual only, but I won't get Jivan Mukti. What I lack is Vairagyam. I am still continuing to allow my Raga Dvesha to dominate. Jnanam is on one side, one corner of the mind, intellect. Raga Dvesha domination is on the other. This is the diagnosis I don't make. Therefore, I mistakenly think that there is some other cause. Maybe I have not got mystical experience because of jnanam, and that is why these problems are continuing. That is why I have jnanam but no jnana anubhava. That is why I am continuing to have samsara. So some people will think that I don't have mystical experience. That is why emotional samsara is continuing. Other people will think I am a grihastha. And that is why I have got these emotional problems. I have not taken sannyasa. That is why Lord Krishna says it is not the ashrama that matters. He says, Nyayas nitya sannyasi yo na dveshti na kankshati. Anybody in any ashrama is a sannyasi if only he has conquered the domination of raga dvesha, na dveshti na kankshati. The grihastha who has got vairagyam, as good as a sannyasi. And with vairagyam developed through nishkama bhakti, if I study Vedanta, I will get emotional liberation even before the study becomes successful. That emotional liberation will come. We'll stop here, continue in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti
Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti
Shanti.
Harihi
Harihi
Om
Om,
Shri Guru
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Namaha Harihi
Harihi
Om.
Om.
धन्यवाद है.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
नमस्कारम.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you. You all.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you. Any questions? As such, attendance is very low today. I don't know what's the reason. Many people have sent me messages for various reasons. Some are sick. Somebody is shifting his house and all that. It's okay.
Maybe because of the long weekend.
A long weekend also. Yeah, correct. That is true.
Thank you, Guruji.
Hari Om. Thank you all. So
Thank you.
we'll meet next week.
Hari Om. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Guruji.
Thank you. Hari
Namaskaram.
Om. Namaskaram.